All right. Hey, everybody. This is Jessica Touchette in your Kinesiology 205 class. And I'm here to identify revenue streams and talk to you about what athletic directors for high schools, what kind of problems they may have to solve as far as revenue and factors they can and can't control. With me in the meeting is Faye Hebert. You want to say hi, Faye?
Hi, class.
Okay, let's hold on. It's not switching.
Could do like this. Hi. Oh God.
Okay. I don't know why it's not switching back and forth. Here we go. Now you're on there. Can you say hi now?
Hello.
All right. Okay, so I'm gonna get started here and talk about different things. If with a high school athletic director, as far as revenue streams for athletic programs, I think one of the main things could be income that's already in the budget. You know, each school, I know as far as with regular students, each school is allotted a certain amount of money per student for education. So with the assumption that schools are allotted money for athletic programs too, whether it be through the state or the parish, I'm going to go ahead and say they probably have funds already set up to allot to each sport. Faye, can you think of any other ones that would bring to the
a big one, fundraising. I would say most schools or all schools, pretty much even Catholic schools who's tuition based, have to have fundraising because how else? I mean, you know, some of that money that you said is allotted and everything from the state or the parish probably isn't enough to carry over everything like equipment and uniforms and things like that that the sports need.
Yeah, so some of the things that we have, hold on, I just did a video and nobody now. Here we go. We're back on me. Okay, so some of the things, like you said, fundraising. I know of a school that has 2 festivals a year, which I think is a great idea. You know, whether it brings in a ton of people or not, first of all, it starts a good tradition for the school. You know, you can bring in revenue. You're also getting your community together. Even if you have a bunch of events for kids, people can come and bring their whole family and, you know, spend money that way on concessions at the event, on games, on rides, and it brings everyone together as a community. Are there any things, any other things that you can think of that may bring people in or bring money as far as fundraising?
Sure, yeah, fundraising. I know some of the schools and some areas do like cook-offs as well, and then they have people who sponsor. So some small businesses will try to advertise maybe on the fence line with their with a sign with their name on it, and they donate a certain amount of money. Or maybe if the team does purchase a T-shirt or something, maybe they could get some of that money from the local businesses around, or people just sponsoring, kind of because, you know, people hand out money for like a good cause, and if they know where their money's going to, and for sure that's a good way to you know, support a community and support kids to do the right thing and play sports and stuff instead of, you know, do other things.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good one. And when you're talking about that, I thought about it. We spoke before about companies and big corporations. One of my professors was saying that at his old high school, they, you know, signed a contract with Coke. So at concessions and things like that, they were only allowed to sell Coke products, but Coke also bought them a huge scoreboard, so there are some things like that you can do with companies where they're going to have, revenue coming in for them, but it also, they usually pay for something huge that most programs don't have that kind of money just lying around.
Yeah, sure. For sure. I agree with you there. I'm trying to think of more fundraising options. People have the small things like my nephew was on a baseball team and he sold hats and sweatbands and stuff like that with the team's BB on it. That's one way they could get some of the students to give them a little extra money as well, or just their families and friends, raffle tickets, stuff like that. Have an auction maybe. There's so many ways, that you can get people to raise money for teams.
Yeah, that's true. I know a lot of places, especially smaller towns that, would they really have to look forward to, or the athletic programs. It kind of comes with the territory, and they want to support them. As far as factors that the athletic director would be able to control when it comes to spending and finances, I would say one of the main things is going to be how many players can actually be on the team. I mean, I just saw this weekend. I was looking. I thought it was great for UL, but they played Texas in softball, Texas State, and UL had, I want to say, the number may not be exactly right, but like 48 people on their team, and
Wow.
Texas State had 24. And I thought, maybe Texas actually has more people, and that's all they traveled with. But I also thought for UL, you think 48 people, there's no way all those girls have scholarships, just based on what I know from my college experience. So that's a lot of people wanting to walk on and be on a team. That says a lot about the program. But that's one thing that can definitely be controlled, is the amount of people on the team. Do you know of any ways that maybe the AD or the coaches can control
Yeah,
that number?
yeah, they could cut people, that aren't making the effort and what the team needs and everything. And then we had talked yesterday about grade point average and having academics as a big part of the teams and how many people can actually be in it. Because if you make a 1.5, you probably shouldn't be spending all your time on a football field or whatever. And should be concentrating on passing school so you could actually get a job, unless you're a pro, but still need some smarts.
Yeah, it's we actually talked about this in one of my classes today, and with the GPA, I'm pretty sure from what my professor said that it's controlled by LHSAA. And I want to say he said it's a 2.5. I may not be 100% correct on that, but I think that's good. And what he also said is that sports are considered extracurricular, so
Yes.
the coach can kind of make their own standards, or maybe the athletic director, if he wanted to write the standards across the board for each sport. So, he said if somebody has a bad attitude and they're, causing problems in school and causing problems on the field, that the coach can suspend them or actually kick them off the team. So I'm not saying kick everybody off the team. People have to learn lessons as they're growing up. But I do feel like if they set the bar and the standard high, you could limit the amount of people that are on the team just by having high expectations of them.
Yeah, for sure. And
I know one thing you had mentioned was saving on field maintenance. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
yeah, sure. When I went to high school, all the coaches, did the majority of the maintenance on the softball and the football fields, and instead of hiring someone, they would go out there and do it. A lot of weekends, parents can volunteer and paint the field or help build things and I think you had said that one of your parents had helped build, or some of your parents had helped build like a dugout because y'all didn't have a dugout for your high school team. So that's real big if you have like support from your extra people and booster clubs and things like that can help you cut costs on maintenance and equipment. They have to service all those things. So if you have somebody that could help you out, that would be good financially.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. And I know one of the main things that they can control is the budget. We've already done this in our Kenese class, and I'm sure athletic directors expect that of their coaches and their programs. If you have to turn in a budget every year and you know what your budget is, and then every year you nitpick it and you can cut costs here and there. I mean, just budget as far as equipment and supplies and uniforms. Those are things that can be controlled to some extent, I find.
For sure. And you can always add things like maybe put ticket sales at the gate, 50 cents higher than it was the previous year, or I don't know. You kind of want all the people to support you, and if your sales are too high, then people won't go. But if it's something minor like that, I think people will pay an extra 25 cents or 50 cents to see their team play. Or maybe, I know when I was in high school, we had programs for football, and we would sell them. And things, we have inflation, so that's something you can't control. Which that's the next question. But the things that you can control is some of the prices that you put on things, concessions and whatnot.
Yep, definitely agree with that one. And like you said, leading into the next question, what are some of the external factors that the athletic programs and athletic directors in high schools really cannot control? If you have $500 in the budget, these things may cost $600. You have to find a way to get the extra $100. So there are always going to be external factors. I know one of the main ones that I thought of is my dad's a referee, and they went through litigation and everything, and referees make more money. I think it happened this year with softball. I think the umpires make more money. So that's something that's definitely out of your control. You have to have officials at your games, and whatever by law you're supposed to pay them, you'll have to pay them. So, if it went up $20 per official, that's a lot of money that you're looking at to get your games covered. Is there anything else you can think of?
Well, that big one that you said that we said right before this question was the inflation. You can't control the economy, and if things go up, like the prices of equipment, the prices of, let's say, footballs or basketballs or softballs or anything. Let's say 5 years ago you paid $2 for something, and it's $4.50. That's a big difference in cost. So coaches and athletic directors can't control monetary things like that. There's no way they could control that unless they got lower quantities and stuff like that, which it's possible, but if it's something they really need. So that's a big thing, is the inflation. And you said earlier as well, not in this conversation, but gas prices. Sometimes right now they're real low, but a lot of times they're $4, $4 a gallon. So if the gas prices hike up a whole lot from the year before, that's bus money, gas money for the vehicles that you bring in people to away games and all. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a real big deal. Gas prices, that's not something that's ever really consistent. And I guess it's one of those things where, an athletic director would have to budget really well and really know where their money's going. And I think, even though there's enough money for the sports, there should obviously be kind of like constant fundraising just to support cushion for these external factors that, you never know how much they're going to go up or down.
Sure.
Yep.
Another thing.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I said another thing I was thinking of is like when you do have those fundraisers, and if they're outdoors, and something happens to where you have to cancel it, like a power outage or a storm, or something in the weather that's going to prevent you from having that fundraiser or doing it when you want to do it. That can hurt your budget with not budget, that could hurt your fundraising. And that could take out a lot of money, a lot of profit that you were making that weekend and whatnot. So that's an external factor that, it's awesome if the weather's great, but you never know if they have that hurricane in the Gulf or something.
Yeah, you're right. And that's a huge one. I mean, so I guess that just goes to show that some types of fundraisers aren't something that you can always bank on. They're good. They're definitely good and they help out. But, with hurricanes and the weather that we have over here, you just never know how much. You can't really rely on how much a fundraiser like that would bring in,
Sure.
Well, thank you for meeting with me and having our little talk and interview and getting prepared for things to come in Kanice 205.
Yeah, definitely. No problem. Enjoy.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. You too.